So it's officially confirmed via trade that James Spader is finally returning to play Ultron after he was nerfed and killed off. But you can't really kill off artificial intelligence. He was never killed off, he just dissipated for a little bit. So I've said for the longest time ever that Mr. Ultron will return one day, and he's coming back in a spin-off show to WandaVision. I actually am interested in this show now because Ultron's going to be involved in it. But not only that, the person I tell you guys to follow, Alex Perez, made an article back in 2022 saying what I heard, the return of Ultron. So this is not even really new information. A lot of people knew he was going to be in this TV show called Vision Quest. I believe that's what they're calling it. But it wasn't official. So Alex Perez did say this back in 2022. Your boy Warstu took an L when I said he was going to be in Avengers 4. Then again in Avengers 5. But hell, I was kind of right around that way. So, yo, what is freaking good YouTube? Warstu, if you're on new make sure you subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture-based content that I try to cover on a daily basis. Subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know. Is this part of the master plan? Is this part of Doom's master plan? Is this all linked back to Tony Stark? Well, it's got to be in a roundabout way. Are they bringing all the legacy characters back? What do you mean? Well, we've now got Tony Stark back, Robert Downey Jr. Whether he's playing Doom or Iron Man, it's still the same actor. We've now got James Spader back. We're going to be getting a evil Hydra Captain America played by Chris Evans. And you know all the legacy characters are coming back. And you're probably going to see lots of kind of articles and so-called scoops about all these legacy characters returning. Eventually, we even got Blade, played by Wesley Snipes in Deadpool 3. So, yeah, Avengers 5 and 6 are going to have a hell of a budget. Hence why they're filming in England, because they get a lot of money back in tax rebate for shooting in the UK. So if you could, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into it. So it's officially been confirmed by an article. Card showrunner Terry is heading up the WandaVision spin-off show. Now, WandaVision was a pretty decent TV show. The Emmy-winning actor is set to reprise his role voicing the robotic villain known as Ultron in the Marvel Studios in the untitled series that follows up WandaVision show. He first played the role in Age of the Ultron, and I feel like he was massively dwarfed or nerfed in that series. Paul Bettany is reprising his role as Vision, the android who fell in love with the Scarlet Witch and then was destroyed by Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. In WandaVision, he returned via magic, the power of grief, but also as a robot android, now ghostly white. So this has been a massive rumor for the longest time ever, and I don't believe he's just returning for this one-off role. So what do we know about the Ultron character? So Ultron, according to this article back to 2022, Ultron AI was never destroyed in the wake of Age of Ultron at all and remains dormant. The Ultron AI is still active, but it's technically dormant. When and where and how Ultron returns has not yet been determined, but obviously by this article it's been confirmed. The last time we saw Ultron play an active role in the 616 universe was back in 2025, but that hasn't stopped the character from making waves in the MCU, even after his death. The events of Age of Ultron result in several consequences that explored the development of the Sokovia Accords in Captain America Civil War. A variant of Ultron played the main antagonistic in the role of What If animated series, and good variants of Ultron Bot made a brief appearance in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Ultron has been the villain in other MCU adjacency projects such as Avengers Damage Control and Avengers Quantum Encounter. Right. So all signs have pointed for the longest time ever that Ultron was going to appear. So we're still on this article back from 2022, Alex Perez's article, and I will link down below. Several clues have been dropped in previous projects hinting the return of Ultron. The first clue dates back to Ultron's debut in 2025, when Tony Stark and the newly born Vision laying out the plans to defeat Ultron. They explain several times that every version he's Ultron built, every trace of his presence on the net had to be destroyed, or Ultron could have a backdoor way of escaping and returning. He's AI. You can't really destroy him. And I hope they explain this going forward. While at first the plan seems to succeed, we know the plan ultimately failed when we headed into Spider-Man Homecoming and spot Ultron head in possession of the Department of Control. Goes on. Another clue Marvel laid out regarding the return of the AI with the implementation of Sword in WandaVision, when we first were introduced to the director Hayward of Sword, we learned that because the organization was forced to shift its focus on robotics, nanotech AI, and sentient weapons. We later found out that director Hayward rebuilt Vision's body and activated without using the Mind Stone, but who's to say that Sword didn't have access to Ultron's somatics as a backup project? One last clue, although meant to be throwaway joke, Marvel also somewhat teased the dangerous nature of AI in Black Panther Wakanda Forever when Queen Ramona mentioned her brief that the AI one day will rise up and kill us all. While Shuri dismisses her joke, Ramona is fair in her assessment given how Ultron tried to destroy the world using Wakanda's vibranium. So we've pretty much known that AI can't be destroyed. He was just dormant. So it's pretty cool that he is coming back because, as I've always said, he was nerfed massively. And I think it's pretty cool. And it's actually given me motivation to watch a Disney Plus show. Because let's be honest, if you don't really care for this kind of stuff, you wouldn't really watch this kind of stuff. But for me, it's kind of made me want to watch it. So there's not much information known about this spin-off show. We don't even know the name. The series is meant to be the third part of the trilogy that started with WandaVision, continued with Agatha all along, which debuts in September on Disney Plus. The new show is showing a shooting date in England early 2025. Yeah, why do you think Marvel keeps shooting in the UK? Because you literally get a massive tax rebate back. So basically, the UK taxpayers are funding most Hollywood movies without even knowing about it, because you get 25% of the budget back. So it makes sense why literally every movie will be shooting in the UK going forward. So how does this play in the part of the ultimate plan? Well, Dr. Doom, played by Robert Downey Jr., will sense Ultron and will know about Ultron because he's going to look like Tony Stark, right? Same actor. So it could just be a variant of Iron Man and a variant of Tony Stark. So Dr. Doom is a very intelligent person. So he will know about the dormant AI technology that is behind Ultron. Now, I really hope that Ultron is not a throwaway character. I really hope going forward that Ultron has a part to play in Avengers 5 and Avengers 6, because if they're bringing him back, then why don't they actually bring him back properly? And it would make a lot of sense if that is why they're bringing Ultron back. Like I said, Alex Perez said this back in 2022. So it's not actually new information, but it's being confirmed by a trade, officially being confirmed by a trade because they're going to start shooting soon. But it is pretty cool that Ultron is being brought back, because if White Vision's going to be around, having Ultron back just makes absolute sense. And they're bringing the original voice back as well, which is pretty darn cool. Is it all to do with Doom? Not really, because as we said, that article dates back to 2022. There's been rumblings that Ultron's going to be attached to this for such a long time. Will Doom use Ultron? Probably, because as you know, the MCU takes place in the 21st century and technology runs everything. So it's pretty cool that Ultron's back. I've always said for the longest time he was going to appear in literally everything. He could take down anything because he controls everything, because it's AI and technology controls literally anything. So he will be OP as. But let's hope that they do something good with him. And let's hope this is the start of Marvel realizing what the audience wants. Tell a good story. Don't rely on all these cameos, and you'll get the audience back. So, like always, guys, let me know. Is this part of Doom's ultra plan to control the whole multiverse and segment everything into one universe that he can control everything? Or is Doom actually the good guy here? We've got no idea what's going on with Doom, and this is why it's cool. This is why it's fascinating for all the YouTube videos, for all the TikTok, for all the kind of theories going around, whether people label them like they're factual or theories. It is cool because there's so many ideas of what the freaking hell Doom's going to do, but realistically, nobody knows anything because Deadpool and Wolverine literally set up nothing. Now, I know what people can say. Yes, we had the anchor beings. Yeah, we had the anchor beings, but now there's two Wolverines, technically, until we get to the death of Logan, and the anchors somehow swap from the Logan to the Wolverine at the end of Deadpool. Marvel, just make a plan, stick with it, and stop changing canon. So, I hope what they build up to is a dark team of the legacy Avengers, like Chris Evans, have Chris Evans play a evil Hydra Captain America, and have an evil version of the Avengers go up against a good version of the new Avengers. If you get what I'm saying, I think it would be pretty dope. And as we know, in the original ideas for Avengers 5, there was supposed to be, according to all these so-called scoopers, there was supposed to be a different villain, and that could have been Ultron, could be literally anyone. As we know, plans have changed since the whole Jonathan Majors Kang scenario, but we know Doom's going to play a part. But Doom ain't going to be the only villain in Avengers 5, for sure. We know based on the last video that it's most likely going to be Loki versus Doom, because in order to utilize all the power, he has to harness the power from Loki to control everything in a roundabout way, you could say. So, like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu, check us out on Warstu G, and I'll catch you on another video, guys, very soon. Catch you later.